Hi, Neil Henshaw here again, your walking constitution on the San Francisco Peninsula. And more good news, I just did a video on my friend having his case not only in the Supreme Court on the shadow docket to be sure at this moment, but he's going to win there, and we know it, given the bizarre circumstances under which this case reached the court and was dismissed and got put back on the docket. We're never going to know what happened there, but he is going to win. And it looks like I'm going to be right behind him on the same term, not as quick as January 6th. And that's a conference, by the way. They don't have to decide on the 6th, although they could. And the same conference date for that 20th century election fraud case as well, which is on the regular docket. So we'll see what happens there, too. But the big deal here with what's happened with my multi-million dollar default judgment in San Francisco, and I filed it, and I got it done in about 30 days, which is almost impossible to do, especially for a pro se litigant. And it gets on there, and it gets over to the magistrate, who dismisses it on Rooker-Feldman grounds. Now, you don't know, but Rooker-Feldman basically says, in effect, if you can't afford to pay the filing fee, that the court can throw your case out even unopposed, like mine has been since day one in the trial court. Specious, frivolous, and without merit pro se bullshit. That's not how it's supposed to work. What that's telling you is that federal district court is not an Article 3 judicial court. What I did in this case and what I will be doing is invoking the concurrent jurisdiction of an Article 3 circuit court. The federal district court has that jurisdiction. That's a pesky 90 parts in Washington, D.C., saying that the U.S. Supreme Court. So I fired off a letter to the chief judge demanding it get put back on calendar, which got done within a week. That's impossible. Who the hell does that? Well, I did it, and quickly. And then I get, after some correspondence back and forth from the court, a dismissal, Rooker-Feldman, by the judge. And you can imagine how angry. I mean, I was so angry, I thought I was going to melt the keys on my keyboard typing out the letter to the judge that I never sent. This system, literally, black is white. And I figured out the judge was trying to help. And this is the same judge that put it back on calendar earlier and wouldn't have done that if not for a reason like this. So it's a big deal because these three things are going on here. One, the judge doesn't want to make the ruling herself because she could get a lot of flack and feedback from the American Bar Association, the State Bar Association, all unregistered foreign agents of the City of London. Two, the message is to the Supreme Court, the problem here is that you haven't done your job in the last 90 years, which they know all too well right now, and they're trying to take care of business as quickly as they think they can. Three, if you decided in Washington, D.C., your ruling is good for every case like this from coast to coast. Res judicata, already decided. So instead of the initial letter, I sent a thank you letter explaining what I just said. And I'm going to get my emergency petition on the court, especially with my friend Adam and I having joined in talking to the man that handles it back at the Supreme Court on two different occasions. By the way, do check out Adam's website. I meant to mention that on the first video, thespiritoflaw.com. You can find out all about his case in the Supreme Court. It's exciting. And he's going to win, not necessarily on January the 6th, but he's going to win, and we know it given the bizarre events that happened even in that court. So if I follow suit and do the same thing, and we get two of them like that, I mean, one is a leverage enough, but both of us do it, that helps your cases, and it doesn't matter what the hell it is. When you think about it, eviction, DMV, income taxes, child procurement syndicate, whatever the alphabet agency is, they're going to see one, if not two of us that have already gone to the Supreme Court and beat the hell out of the system. I can't think of anything that's going to make them go away quicker than that, because if they continue on, they're going to get convicted of acts of treason to the Constitution. That's at pesky U.S. Supreme Court again, Cohen's v. Virginia. You'll learn all about that. Send me an email, youwinincourt@gmail.com, for information on my constitutional defense document packets. And this is what's going to stop the bastards dead. They have nowhere to go, and they're facing multiple charges of treason if they don't stop. That's leverage, and that's the way it should be. That's the original intent of the framers. Remember that in theory, at least, we the people ordained and established this Constitution to establish the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Have you seen a hell of a lot of liberty out there anywhere lately? I'd love to hear it. Not there because the whole damn system is controlled by the state bar and all their damn unregistered foreign agents, but they're really nothing but sycophants for their bosses in the Wall Street banksters. And that's what it is we have to stop. And we have a rare opportunity to do it here with the Supreme Court now having our backs on a lot of our issues we're going to be bringing there. And we only need one or two. I'd love to get some of the major ones, but for right now, we'll take what we can. And they'll get rid of your case, make it go away, make you whole, and not for the moment, wake the American people up as fully as I'm sure they would like to do. That'll come after the next quote unquote election if the Republicans win, and that does seem very likely. And now they get younger conservatives to replace Alito and Thomas, and they're there through the 2030s. Now, what are you Democrats going to do about that? Undo the whole damn system that should never have existed in the first place. So it's all good news from here. So like I said, to learn more about what's going on, send me an email, youwinincourt@gmail.com. I'll get back to you with information on my document packets. And I've just created an amicus curiae brief that's sent to the court. Because a lot of times you can't even get documents filed, particularly if you have one of your family members or loved ones in jail already and quote unquote represented by an attorney. They're not going to do it either. They don't dare. But a friend of the court brief, you can get in there. We have standing to do that. And now we get all our unopposed issues on the record. And that sets the record that's going to beat them in front of an inflamed federal criminal grand jury for acts of treason if it ever gets that far. That's the key to the whole thing. You set the record, or you make the case the record has been set with effective assistance of counsel, which doesn't exist. But that's the only right they think you have, people. That's it. So you can't do it that way. They don't teach a damn thing in the mandatory public education system. How the hell are you supposed to know how to do it? Although if you send me an email, youwinincourt@gmail.com, you'll get a lot of information on how to do that. And it's comparatively simple once you get the right perspective. And I didn't get it overnight. It took me a while, but when it finally hit me, I just sat there one day and I said, my God, this can't be right. But it is. It was right there in front of me, all of it. And that's what you will learn. And that's why at the age of 74, my life is ahead of me. And I think it shows, especially on these videos. I mean, there's a lot to live for and get things done. And I hope I finish the job. I might not get there, but I can sure as hell teach you and your friends and our posterity how to do it and finish the job. If I can do that, I will have done what I was put here to do. It's really exciting business right now. So like I said, send me an email, youwinincourt@gmail.com for more information on what I'm doing here. You're going to love it. Subscribe, like the videos, tell your friends, get the word out. The sooner we cut out this crap about divide and conquer they've been using for 150 years, if not more, the sooner we get the bastards off our backs. Thank you.